Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special Crystal Cruises webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA. I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 15 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Carmen Roig. Carmen has more than 30 years of cruise industry business development and sales experience. She joined the Crystal executive team as Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales in June of 2015, when the company was a two-ship luxury cruise line. Since then, she has guided her team Crystal's unprecedented brand expansion, including the launch of Crystal River Cruises, Crystal Yacht Cruises, Crystal Expedition Cruises, and Crystal Air Cruises. And with that, take it away, Carmen.
Well, thanks so much, Anna. I greatly appreciate that introduction, and welcome, valued travel partners. Let me tell you what, timing is everything in life. It is such an honor to be here to present to all of you the world of Crystal, but more importantly, the timing, because boy, talk about things moving fast and furious. I had said to Anna previously during a quick little break that I had attended our CLIA Communications Committee meeting, and boy, do we have just awesome news to share from an industry perspective. It is very excited. I think all of you know last week the PVSA legislation passed, right, which was fantastic, and the president signed it into law this Monday, which helps our Ready, Set, Sail initiative because the Alaska season will happen and it's long overdue. I think you all know the pent-up desire that we have. So I am just thrilled to be with you today, but more importantly, the timing of it all. And I think yesterday we also had some great news with the CDC. So what can I tell you? Everything but positivity is all that we are seeing, and it's just an amazing time to be in the industry. So welcome everybody, and if you've never attended one of my webinars, I'm Carmen Roig, Senior VP Marketing and Sales for Crystal. And Anna said it in the introduction, when I joined the company, and it's been 6 years, time flies, this was just a two-ship cruise line, and we have now expanded the portfolio. And I love to say it is exciting to see the growth. And even though the last 15 months have been challenging for all of us, not just in the cruise industry, but in hospitality, listen, in the world, right? Yet we're still forging ahead. But I am very proud of the portfolio that Crystal has built upon an essence, an equity, an ethos of 30 years. So last year would have been our 30th anniversary. We didn't get to celebrate, but we will celebrate again this July. So Crystal Cruises, obviously founded almost 31 years ago, with our two beautiful ocean ships, and we'll talk about Symphony and Serenity. At one point when we did launch, it was with the Harmony. We launched Crystal River Cruises in 2016, and now we have these gorgeous 5 ships, 4 purpose-built river ships, and they are just lovely. And then the Mozart will be back next year in 22 as part of our lineup. Crystal Yacht Cruises with the gorgeous Esprit, just one beautiful vessel, 31 suites, 62 guests, doing amazing. Crystal Expedition Cruises, I'm very excited about it, and you'll hear about it within this webinar because we will actually launch. She was supposed to be inaugurated last July during the Tokyo Olympics, and of course, the shipyard in Germany shut down, and so this year we will lovingly embrace our newest baby, Crystal Endeavor, to the Crystal fleet. So this is the brand portfolio. I like to say it's one trusted brand that, and nobody else can provide all of these categories, right? So it's an incredible portfolio and one that I truly hope we can share with you. But really the update for today is our resumption of cruising. And obviously you've heard many other of our esteemed colleagues in the cruise industry are also returning to service. Crystal had made a decision, I think, you know, for us, and I think it's humbling because we are a small brand, not one of the major brands, but as a luxury brand, to be able to have been the first to have that press conference to say we will return to cruising. And guess what? We will do it, and we did. And it will be this luxury Bahamas escapes aboard the beautiful Crystal Serenity. So we'll talk about what that means, but more importantly, it will be right around the corner, July 3rd. So come July 3rd, the beautiful Crystal Serenity will be doing what we like to call domestic cruising. It'll be 100% Bahamian itinerary. So it's a series of 7-night, we like to tag them as luxury Bahamas escapes. And actually, I am booked on the July 10th because I don't know about you, but so many of us missed amazing, uh, I call them life experiences last year. We missed so many things, so many milestones, whether it's birthdays, anniversaries, births of grandkids. There's just so much that we did not celebrate. So we are very excited about having the opportunity to have our guests come aboard and enjoy. So I'll also share some of the stats with you because we're seeing a lot of new to Crystal guest sourcing, not new to cruise, but new to Crystal guest sourcing. So I'll share with you where those guests are coming from, because many times when I do these webinars, people say, I don't have luxury guests. Everybody has luxury guests. You just need to know how to qualify your database, and I'll help you find those guests. But if you've never been aboard the Crystal Serenity or the Symphony for that matter, our ships really have a footprint of what a premium cruise line brand would have, 2,000 plus guest size ship, except we as a luxury brand have only less than 1,000 guests. So it is about the pillars that build the company, which is space, which is really critical, right? The space ratio, service, absolutely important, options. That's what our guests wanted, about choices. And then, of course, destination is critical. So one of the beautiful things about both Serenity and Symphony is this incredible promenade deck, 360-degree. You don't find that on new ships today. You just don't. But it really, now more than ever, everybody wants to enjoy the great outdoors and, take a deep breath and fresh air. And these ships really provide that. So it's absolutely phenomenal for us to be able to enter into this incredible 7-night domestic cruising, 100% Bahamian port. So our guests can either board in Nassau, we sail every Saturday, or they can join the ship in Bimini. In both Nassau and Bimini, we do dock. Now, this is an interesting itinerary because this is not where most big ships can get to. But because of the size of Crystal and a luxury brand, this is the first time the Bahamian government is allowing this kind of voyage itinerary. So we're very, very excited about the different itinerary options with Spanish Wells, San Salvador, Long Island, and Great Exuma. And of course, we are open for sale. So we'll depart from Nassau, a hub of nightlife, history, and culture. It's really exciting. And Bimini is the sport fishing capital of the world. There also happens to be a Resorts World casino at the Bimini Beach Club that our guests will be really having a great time, and they will be part of and invited to enjoy the Bimini Beach Club. I live in Miami, so Bimini is in our backyard, and yet I never get an opportunity to go there because it truly is a sport fishing capital of the world with yachting and boating. And so it's great that our guests will enjoy that. And when I look at the rest of the ports on this incredible itinerary, Spanish Wells is really the best kept secret in the Bahamas, and it's famed for its lobster fishing. Great Exuma, it's renowned for its swimming pigs. I'm sure many of you have seen that, and the sapphire waters that are just so inviting. And then there's San Salvador Island, which is home to historic monuments and, of course, sparkling inland lake. And Long Island, who is not just known for its brilliant coral reefs, but also the blue hole. So it's a really nice itinerary, 7 nights, round trip Nassau, round trip Bimini. Guests have a choice. So we wanted to also make sure that this wonderful restart of operations for Crystal had a 3-prong effect, that there's something in it for our guests, something in it for the destinations that we're visiting, which is fantastic because they too, the Bahamas, as well as anybody, any of these islands in the world, anybody who depends on tourism that has been impacted, right? Its livelihoods, our own livelihoods have been impacted. So it's great to have something to look forward to. It's not about surviving, it's about thriving. And we are going to make sure that these destinations thrive with our help. So we decided for our incredible clients, right, to make sure we had best available fares. It includes our book now savings and air savings within that. We also wanted to have an as you wish shipboard credit, because even though we are a luxury brand, we always like to have that shipboard credit in case they want to do spa, in case they want to buy something in the gift shops. And then we decided to do a double Crystal Society savings of 5%. So it has to be for our past guests. So super excited about that, because normally we don't do double Crystal Society savings unless we're launching something very new and unique. And new to Crystal savings was critical as well, 2.5%, so that we could really source new to Crystal guests on all of these opportunities, right? And solo fares from just 125. We have done a reduced deposit per guest, and of course relaxed our final payment at 60 days prior to first date of service. I say first date of service so that we're really clear, because for instance, I will be on the July 10th voyage of the Serenity. Can't wait. I've been counting down, but I'll be in Nassau the day before, July 9th. And I'm using one of our pre-hotel properties that are absolutely gorgeous, the SLS Bahamar. So my full payment, first day of service, would be July 9th. And of course, a bonus commission per stateroom or suite for you, our valued partners, which I think is really, really critical. So from a sourcing perspective, what we're seeing on the Serenity is really dynamic, because normally on any given voyage, Crystal sources more society guests or our repeat guests. They're our brand ambassadors and they love us. So normally it's 60% with about 40% new to Crystal. On that Serenity, we've kind of flopped it, and it's about 60% new to Crystal and 40% are our incredible society members, which I think is unique. And then I'll tell you how we're sourcing and where they're sourcing these new to Crystal guests. So we'll move to the Crystal Endeavor, the newest addition to the Crystal portfolio and to our brand experiences. This is our entry into Crystal Expedition cruises, and our Crystal Yacht Cruises and Crystal Expedition cruises are managed by Mark Spillane. He's done an amazing job, and many times I have actual specific webinars that are just on our brand portfolio and experiences. And Mark will join me on these, and we do have them in our PRC, which I'll talk about. So if you ever want to know anything you need to know, most recently I was enjoying this webinar. It was actually in April. It is on our PRC, Partner Resource Center. And we went in depth. I'll show you the itineraries, but more importantly, we went in depth into the ship. Absolutely gorgeous. We had Claudius Dosical as well as Anita Hodson joining Mark and myself. So we talked about the deployment. So this is an amazing vessel. Like, I think this will be a game changer in expedition. Again, timing is everything. Not only do I have great news from the CDC, great news with regards to Ready, Set, Sail and starting up in Alaska, but also the great news for us is that the ship completed its final sea trials. We want to really focus on German engineered design, because this ship is incredible, and seeing what the final results were of those sea trials, there, you know when you're sailing expedition, it can be rough out there. This vessel is built to PC6 polar class specifications. The anchor-free dynamic positioning, new technology, really will be placing the Endeavor in a very different position in expedition, and you'll see why. So we'll talk about everything, but we are debuting with 10-night voyages starting this July 17th, as a matter of fact. So just imagine, July 3rd we debut in Nassau with the Serenity, then our beautiful Crystal Endeavor will start on July 17th, and it is beautiful. Again, keeping with our service, space, quality, choices, and destination pillars that made Crystal the brand that it is today, you'll enjoy incredibly expansive social spaces. Look at this solarium, a towering solarium. It'll have a fold-out viewing platform, state-of-the-art mudrooms, observation deck, and dare I say, kind of like with our ocean vessels, you'll be able to have your clients dine on the exceptional cuisine, which is Nobu Matsuhisa. We're the only cruise line that has Nobu on board, and his restaurant is Umiuma, my absolutely favorite. And then of course we'll have the Prego restaurant as well as our Crystal Life Spa. And we're going to roll the dice, because this will be the first time that an expedition ship has a casino on board. So we're very excited about that. One of the beauties of us as a brand in this space of luxury is that, because of the size and the footprint of our ships, the entertainment, the nightlife, it's pretty exciting. We do have nightlife on Crystal. It's awesome. So that's why this actually works wonders to be able to have a casino even on expedition. So, and the incredible spas. So they are luxury Iceland expeditions. We've already opened for sale. They're departing from Reykjavik, which is Iceland's capital and the country's largest city. And it really holds the distinction of being the world's most northernmost capital city. So it's just situated 2 degrees south of the Arctic Circle. So the itinerary includes some amazing overnights, like in Reykjavik, and you'll see all of these incredible unique, because we're going into destinations. This is not typical Iceland. Okay, this is destinations where other big ships can't get to. And because the Endeavor is the perfect size, it will be able to get into all of these harbors that nobody else can. So I think that is a major selling point. So we've called these luxury Iceland expeditions the land of fire and ice, right? So think of Iceland, formed by volcanoes, settled by Vikings. Iceland's really home to the most astonishing wildlife, exceptional. Just think of these puffins, thousands of them, towering bird cliffs, whale watching, famous lagoons, and our guests love UNESCO World Sites. So if you have clients that are UNESCO World Site collectors, we will have Surtsey Island listed and Grimsby Island on the Arctic Circle. So these are experiences of a lifetime, and what a way to break through after being with pent-up desire for as long as we have, right? To have this gorgeous experience. We don't call them bucket list itineraries, we call them life list itinerary. It's about getting back to living. So we've also added recently, just last week, a voyage out of Tromsø. So the journey of the Vikings. So this is a combination of Iceland and Norway. I literally hot off the press, just last week we opened up. So it is beautiful. It gives you a little bit of everything. So it gives you Iceland, but it also gives you Norway. So it's a scenic journey from Reykjavik to Tromsø. Same thing, magnificent glaciers, the stunning fjords, the history, very critical. The waterfalls, which are just, it'll blow you away. And then again, ending up in Tromsø in Norway. So it gives them a little bit more. So again, everything that nature lovers want, this is the itinerary and voyage you need to recommend. And it's doing spectacular. We are taking center stage here when you look at all of the gorgeous fjords and all of the gorgeous waterfalls and the amazing wildlife. It's just a once in a lifetime experience. And of course, because it is an expedition cruise, and it's our entry into expedition, you will have experts on board, an experienced expedition team that will host guided excursions, including zodiac landings. There's a perfect example of what that would be like. Kayaking adventures, showcasing the beautiful rare beauty, obviously, in the beautiful fjords. And again, the UNESCO listed islands, the national parks, extraordinary bird life, waterfalls, whale watching. But these experts, our expedition team, will be there with your clients, our guests, to give them a moment by moment expression of what and how this comes about, which I think is really the beauty of it, right? It's knowing that you're going to a new destination and having the experts be the ones that take you. Talk about luxury and talk about being very well taken care of. That's what this is all about, making sure that there's absolutely no question in your client's mind that we will have a seamless turnkey experience. So what we've done, and by the way, when we started the luxury Iceland expeditions, we've actually raised the fares. They were at $13,999, but now we have tremendous demand, and a lot of folks have been booking. So I want to talk about how we're sourcing here as well. Similar to the Serenity, we have, again, something for everybody, something for your guests with the best available. If you think about the rates and the fares from, including the book now savings per guest, we've created an as you wish shipboard credit of $300 per guest, double the society savings, the new to crystal savings, the low solo fares are from 150% on the Endeavor, and of course reduced deposit of 15%. So this, only Serenity and Symphony in the Caribbean are having the $100 deposit. And then the final payment is 60 days prior to first date, so that's relaxed, and of course the bonus commission for you. Now, a lot of our partners have asked me, when you look at the new to crystal sourcing, where is it coming from? And so on this particular voyage, we have about 60% society and 40% new to crystal cruisers. And they come from premium brands, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you all have, if you do cruise and you've set sale on a premium brand and you've put clients on a premium brand, because of the price points, that's why we're seeing a lot more on Serenity and Symphony, people who are upgrading to this luxury experience. And if you do that, and if you source and sell, and you go through your database and see who is it that's premium, and introduce them to these cruise experiences, I guarantee you're going to have an annuity for life. One of the things that sets Crystal apart, and I really want to paint the picture because it's very unique. And, you know, Anna was kind to say that I've been doing this for 30 years. I can't believe I've been doing it for 40. January 31st of this year was my 40th anniversary when I started in the cruise industry. And I'll tell you, the passion for the industry has not changed. If anything, what the last 15 months have shown us is that this industry is now more than ever completely aligned. And there's no such thing as a bad cruise. So now more than ever, it is really our responsibility to go forth and share the amazing value proposition that a cruise is, because that's simply what it is. Super exciting. So when you look at also CDC protocols, and we'll talk about the Crystal protocols, I'll get a little deeper into what those are, and the industry, 4 decades of amazing track records, and we're going to talk about that as well. So the next voyage, the Symphony. So with the Symphony launching, we will be doing 10-night starting August 5th, luxury, actually 4th, luxury Caribbean escape. So these are 10-night, and by the way, will include, since it's through December, our holiday voyage as well. Like Serenity, the Crystal Symphony, again, built on our pillars, right? Space, that true promenade deck. It's a rarity. You don't see it on ships today. You just don't. Of course, we have so many private verandas, so many suites, the reduced capacity. So we enhance everything that was already there with more social spaces, more abundant space, and everything that people value today, right? I mean, after everything we've been through. So it's exciting. So now we had originally launched these 10-night voyages round trip from Antigua. Now it will be St. Martin and Antigua. So guests have choices to fly into either. And we're working very closely, actually, with the Antigua team. We're going to be doing some virtual webinars upcoming with our own sales team to introduce the itineraries. Absolutely incredible voyage. Okay, so this will be St. Martin or Antigua, UNESCO rich history. So again, collectors of UNESCO sites, a little bit for everybody. So out of Antigua, a little bit about the itinerary. So it's really a favorite for sun seekers, easygoing, laid back hospitality, but very, very aligned with our luxury feel. So the thing with luxury and it makes Crystal so unique is it is not about stuffy. It is not about thread count, but what counts. And what counts to our Crystal guests is coming back home, being in the embrace of our brand from the moment they step aboard, whether it's ocean, river, yacht, or expedition, or even Crystal Air cruises. Once you step aboard a cruise on Crystal, you are now in the loving embrace of our onboard family, Crystal crew, and they welcome our guests back. So super excited to be able to offer, with the introduction of these 3 voyages or these 3 itineraries on Serenity, Symphony, and Endeavor, that leads us to 97% of our occupancy is available for you to sell, and we're back in business. So St. Martin, you all know, gorgeous dual personality. It's got both Dutch and French culture, and I was there. I wish I could relive that moment, but 2019, I was there with the beautiful Crystal Esprit. It was spectacular. And Barbados, you know, British Heritage, botanical gardens, gorgeous beaches. Tobago is a lush island. So so think of rainforest, dive sites, secluded bays. And then St. Lucia is just pristine beaches, just gorgeous. And of course, when you do Tortola, which I did on Esprit as well, we had the bats at Virgin Gorda, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And it was a haven for beachgoers. Very relaxed itinerary, but a little bit of everything, because you even have some adventure with the rainforest, and if they want to dive, absolutely phenomenal. 10 nights, which is what our Crystal guests love. And so we're very excited having introduced this particular option. Just like we did with Serenity and Symphony, there's best available fares. We also have an as you wish shipboard credit of $200, double the savings for Crystal Society, new to Crystal Society or new to Crystal guests. Low solo fares also from 125%, and the Symphony also has that reduced deposit. And this is where I'll pause, because another question I get asked all the time is, why did you reduce the deposit? Well, because we really want to entertain and entice those premium guests that have not tried a crystal experience. Let's step them up, upgrade them to crystal luxury, and let's do it with a $100 reduced deposit. And then the sticky rate, whether we do these reduced deposits or not, are exactly the same. Some folks say, oh, but if they don't have skin in the game with just $100. Yes, they do. And the sticky rate is the same. We still have the same closing ratios. So it's pretty interesting, that dynamic. And that's what the data shows. And again, the due date of final payment 60 days before, and a bonus commission per stateroom or suite for you. So that's the 3 offerings of 3 beautiful ships back in business, restart of operations, because boy, this year has been business as unusual. And I'll use Mark Spillane's famous quote there, business as unusual. Now I am back in the office. This is my 3rd week back. And it kind of feels eerie, right? Because there's not many people in the office. Hopefully in June and July, as we continue to expand, we'll have more of our amazing colleagues returning to our Miami headquarters. But let me give you just some policy updates and important information. And if you've never sold, crystals, so that we can give you some real confidence on how we've approached protocols in light of, COVID, and how we've approached many of our policies and adjusted. I kind of tell the team, and they're tired of hearing it, but it's about being flexible, fluid, and pivoting. It's as simple as that. I think none of us would have imagined in February and March of 2020 that we would be here almost June 1st, next week, still in this situation without cruise ships sailing. I mean, my office, I have a gorgeous view of the beautiful Port Miami. The only thing that unfortunately is not beautiful is those cruise ships that are sitting there, either off the coast of Miami Beach or sitting in these port terminals waiting to welcome back happy cruisers. So some of our policies, commissions, very important. So we will maintain it, and did this in 2020, and we'll continue to do it until further notice. So we're not going to up any revenue thresholds. Whatever commissions you had with us in 2019 when life was normal, we've kept those, okay? I really believe there's tremendous, we've seen it. We did a survey with Condé Nast about pent-up desire. And I got to tell you, it is there. People are ready to travel. They want to be global citizens. So we believe in optimism, and that it will not be about surviving but thriving. And we're very excited to welcome our guests back. We have relaxed deposit payment terms, admin fees. We've done a lot. So we've streamlined all of our sales and booking processes, really to provide continuity across all of the brand portfolios. So that way it's easy. Listen, I only have to memorize the crystal portfolio. I don't know how you, our incredible valued travel partners, do it, because you don't only have to remember us, but you remember everybody. And it is incredible. That's why I have nothing but the utmost respect for the distribution channel, for everything you've been through. And therefore, it is critical that we make your life easy. So one of the things I do is I talk to a lot of our guests, but more importantly, I talk to our travel partners all the time. I do a lot of social listening on all of the social platforms. I think it's critical to have your pulse on what's going on. It just makes you relative. And a lot that we've heard. So obviously for 2021, we did the reduced deposit, as you know, for Symphony and Serenity, and 15% for the beautiful Endeavor. So what we've done is for 22 and beyond, we are open, folks. Okay, so if you can imagine, we have forward bookings into 22 and beyond that are incredible. It has actually surprised me because it's surpassing some 2019 successes that we had, and it was a very good year for us. So we've decided to keep the reduced deposit. The relaxed early full payment will go from 90 days to 150 days. The relaxed final payment is only for 2021, and then we will return to the 120-day mark for 22 and before. But what has been really adjusted, and again, listening to you, is our admin fees. We have waived them currently, again, until further notice. So anything you're booking now locks in whatever these specific policies are. So whether it, and for 21, as you know, we've had 60 days out. We have different kind of cancellation policies, and we have just adjusted for 22 and beyond. And I think it's important. So it was important for us to hear what you needed, to let you know that for your existing bookings, from the moment we made these changes in policies, where we've waived admin fees and we've relaxed the early full payment savings, we've retroactively applied it to anybody bookings. So if you had your bookings made, you don't have to do anything. You'll see the confirmations will say it. So let's get into COVID vaccine, because not only were we the first to have a press conference with the beautiful islands of the Bahamas and talked about the luxury Bahamas escapes. I'm like the little engine that could, Crystal. I think big risks, big rewards, and it was exciting to see. And it's even more exciting to see that U.S. Cruises will begin in June. So that's absolutely phenomenal. But we were the first to say we will require 100% of our guests, okay, to have vaccines. And it was really critical for us to do that. I think our guests, especially in the age group from a demographic perspective, they are easily vaccinated already. So this was really a personal choice we made, and I'm happy to take questions at the end. Anna, I'm sure I'll have questions about this because I do in every webinar. But, you know, we follow the data, the science, the expert guidance, and that's why we made that decision. So fully inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine, whichever of the doses and manufacturer recommends, and at least 14 days prior to boarding any of our Crystal ships. They do have to have proof of vaccination before embarkation. They have to actually have it in PCPC, so that's where you go and pre-board. Also crew vaccination. So our expectation is to have all our crew vaccinated. However, we understand that as it stands today, that's why I'm saying you've got to be flexible, pivot, fluid. Some of our crew members are in areas that, because of their age, there might not be, or their home countries don't have availability. And our goal is to have 100% crew vaccination as soon as we can get that done. So I think it's critical, but our crew members will be required. So they're not vaccinated. They will be required to be tested for COVID-19 prior to leaving their home location and joining the ship. They must receive a negative result. They will also take a COVID test at embarkation. They're quarantined for 7 days upon arrival, and then they take a test at the end of that 7-day period and must receive a negative result before beginning their duties. And again, when vaccines are widely available, they will be a requirement for employment at least 14 days prior to service. And this was all based on surveys. I mentioned Condé Nast, the pent-up desire. I will also tell you that, you know, we look at what is it that people, what is the sentiment? That's what's going to underscore conversations that our guests and you, our partners, are having and allow us to ensure we're doing the right thing. And a recent Cruise Critic survey showed 80% of respondents would cruise if a vaccine were required. So that helped us decide and define what our policy would be. But more importantly, for us, I mean, at the end of the day, like every cruise company, your guests and our crew's health and safety is of the utmost priority. It's our number one priority, right? So we really have comprehensive health and safety protocols, but it's just an additional measure that'll give confidence to travelers as they explore the world again. I mean, we want them to be at ease so that they can enjoy their vacation. So our crystal clean protocols, I'll give you some updates. This, by the way, Crystal Clean is the name of, and we like to tag it as confidence anchored by care. Crystal Clean has always been, these are our health and safety protocols. We've always had crystal clean protocols. And by the way, the cruise industry is only one of 3 industries that has to self-report to the CDC, not just now because of COVID, but always in the 4 decades that I've been around. The other 2 industries besides the cruise industry are hospitals and nursing homes. So I think we're in really good company, but I'll tell you, we're in better company because we are just building on the foundation of health and safety that's been in the industry for decades. So right now, we started with Crystal Clean Plus, then it was Crystal Clean Plus 1.0. Now we're at 5.0. Why? Because as you all know, it is changing dramatically and very quickly. So if you just saw yesterday's release, the CDC relaxed guidelines. So the CDC reports that they provided cruise ship operators with more discretion regarding fully vaccinated travelers for clarity purposes. I'll tell you, it's going to be at the discretion of the cruise ship operator, whether the guest, okay, and the crew, if they're fully vaccinated, whether they may gather or conduct activities. So social distancing, will we need to have social distancing? We can have meals together. Do we have to have a mask? So all of these updates came just yesterday. So know that 5.0 was prepared before some of these. So we'll just keep adapting, adjusting. Always go to our website because that's where we have the latest and greatest information. Always go to the website because they are changing rapidly. But we want you to know what the testing requirements are because originally we had required that you had to have a negative test taken 3 days before you headed to the ship, and then you get tested again at embarkation. Well, Crystal has changed that, and one of the new protocol things that we have relaxed is just that you don't have to take the test 3 days before you leave home. However, we always say you have to check with the specific country where you are visiting. So for instance, in the Bahamas, they don't need that anymore before you get to the Bahamas, but they have other testing requirements, right? So it's really critical. For instance, in St. Martin and Antigua, they do require a negative test before you enter the country. So it's really important that as we continue to evolve these standards, based on the unique challenges that we see COVID has placed, for us, it's about exceptional standards. So we're tackling this with science, innovation, and accordance to all the data. We have a third party of medical health experts that we rely upon, okay? So protocols are outlined, again, latest updated measures, and they can change. So we will no longer require that pre-departure PCR test. However, again, what countries are you visiting? Please visit the website. Recommend your clients do that so that they have the very best information always. We will now only complete a health questionnaire at embarkation. So we're trying to relax this as we see these CDC protocols being relaxed. We want to make sure that we don't lose sight that this is their vacation and we want them to have a phenomenal time. So people who love cruising are passionate about it. So we want them to return to what they love, okay? And some of these restrictions, as they become relaxed, will really make it much easier. So pre-boarding, all guests will be required to have the vaccine, both doses. We talked about that. And then, of course, we will have an online form where they will acknowledge and understand that. So we ask for verified proof of the vaccine. I think you all see the little cards, and they must be accepted by the country where the guest and Crystal is cruising to. We will have a COVID-19 test the day of embarkation. The guest must test negative prior to boarding the ship, and there's no cost for the embarkation test. We do that as they're entering. If they test positive, then we have a whole other standard of protocols and processes in place. They will not be able to board the ship and will be responsible really for applicable costs. But that's why we highly recommend insurance, really critical. When you go to the Luxury Bahamas Escapes specifically and Caribbean Escapes, we will also undergo an antigen test the day of embarkation at either the pier, ferry, or the airport, just so you know. And on luxury Iceland expeditions on the beautiful Endeavor, they will also undergo a PCR test by the government at the airport. So this will satisfy our embarkation tests and our requirements. We will not begin embarkation, and this is critical because we are doing e-docs, and many of our guests are already receiving their e-docs. We will not begin embarkation until all of guest staterooms, suites, and public areas have been disinfected, cleaned, sterilized, and are pristine. Okay, so we're developing these plans really to facilitate the guests when they come on board. We'll be doing what we call the embarkation times will be pretty spread out. We're not going to have everybody show up at the pier. If anybody's ever cruised or had a client that cruised on Crystal, you know we have very relaxed embarkation. It's very relaxed, but we will be staggering the time so that we're able to conduct all the testing, which is really incredible. And so on board the 6th day of the cruise for the Bahamas Escapes specifically, there will be a test conducted, which is part of the requirement for the Bahamas. And that test is going to be included, obviously, but it's at the cost of the guests. I want to make sure anything, because when you're coming back to the US or whatever country, they're going to require it, and we will have a very reasonable cost to it. And then shoreside. So everybody keeps asking about this. And again, fluid, flexible. We need you to know this is as of today, but it can change. Right now on both Iceland and the Bahamas Escapes, our guests can go ashore. They're 100% vaccinated. Those countries and destinations will allow it, so they can explore independently ashore, or they can take one of our shore excursions, up to them. On the Symphony, unfortunately, because of the countries we're visiting have different requirements, if you want to go ashore, the shoreside activity or excursion has to be through one of ours, okay? Which is really, really important because, again, these destinations have different requirements. We always, provide shuttles into town, so we'll be doing that as well on our Luxury Bahamas Escapes, which is really important, as well as on the expedition. And then this is available to all of you. You can download it. It's on our website. It's on the, PRC. It is Crystal Clean Plus. So you just click on it. It's a downloadable PDF. It talks about all of the touch points. So it's not just the pre-boarding where the declaration of safety is so critical, the vigilance on board and ashore for both embarkation, the capacity controlled and social distancing. We call it In Space We Trust because we've all been living under these requirements. So it's as we adjust and as we adapt. So guest accommodations, social spaces, high frequency, purification, a responsive mask policy. Depending on, we're going to have vaccination, so we'll adjust. By the way, I just want to focus in. We have a medical center. We've always had a medical center, but also public health officer. This is not new. We've had a public health officer for 31 years since we started. So it's really about vessel sanitation training. And as you know, if you've been on a cruise, many times when cruises are coming back into the US, they'll have a surprise inspection. Yes, they will. And we've got to be prepared, and we've got to make sure at public health that we pass this. And every single cruise line has to pass those inspections, and they're mandatory, and you don't know when to expect them, but know that they're coming. And that's why I think we raise safety to a whole new level at the end in our industry of cruising. Makes me very proud. So I just want to go through some sales tools before we do the question and answer. So you've heard me talk about PRC a couple times. That's short for Partner Resource Center. I call it our one-stop shopping for everything and anything that you need. It's powered by Salesforce. Anything and everything you need for Crystal. You should be part of the Partner Resource Center. Make sure you're signing up. It's really simple because it's a resource for the entire world of Crystal, from training tools to marketing tools to booking tools. We do our travel partner special offers. We do webinars and online training. Anytime I record my insider insights every single month with a different topic. It will actually, this month's topic was river. We opened 2023 River, so we had Walter Littlejohn join me. Last month I had Claudia Sanita and Mark Spillane talking about the Endeavor. So Partner Resource is incredible. And by the way, Cruise Builder, and we'll talk about Cruise Builder, but that is our own proprietary booking engine, so that you're able to access your clients' bookings and book Crystal 24/7. You don't have to wait for our res team to be open. Requesting a brochure, and of course, Crystal Academy is critical. We have 4 modules. You can take these at your own time. You can pick up where you left off. So it's time consuming. It's really, we like to believe that in luxury, it's not about one size fits all, but one size fits one. And we believe we do the same thing when it comes to training and sales tools. So we have all of these available for you. So we've got the flyers available on Crystal Serenity from July through November, very important. So we talk about everything that we've discussed here. These are available, and you can share them as well with your clients, which is wonderful. We talk about pre and post hotel experiences. Again, putting it at your fingertips. We don't want you to do the homework. We want this to be seamless. So we give it all to you so that you can share and come from a position of strength, which is education, right? The more we learn about the brands that we sell, the better equipped we are to answer all of our clients' questions. So the Endeavor, we have the flyers on Endeavor as well, really in depth with maps, really critical. People want the geography. They want to know what it is. It's really true expedition and true luxury. A lot of people use that word luxury all over the place. It means different things to different people. But there's no such thing as new luxury or old luxury. At Crystal, luxury is timeless. And our tagline is luxury is personal, because that is what it is. It's one size fits one, not all. So we approach it that way on board. We approach it that way on shore. We approach it through marketing and sales in the same way, putting at your fingertips, at your availability, anything you need to be able to promote these incredible return to operation cruises that we've got with all 3 vessels. So we also have the Symphony, and remember, we do have a holiday voyage, very exciting. I missed our holiday voyage last year. I had been on 5 Crystal holiday voyages since I had joined. Normally they're 2 weeks with my family, and the kids have grown up, met other kids from all over the world, and they remain friends today. So we're excited that this year we will be able to be back home, experiencing the holidays with our beautiful Crystal family. Pre and post hotel experiences, you'll have it everywhere on the, so this is it, a plethora of flyers available from everything you need, all available on Partner Resource Center. And we keep, by the way, updating these as we expand, and we expand new world cruises like 2024 that everybody's asking about soon. Wait for it. Our world cruisers love it. Everything you need will be there. Brochures available and upcoming. So there's a whole lot of order brochure pages on our website. We have digital versions. So if you don't, you want to send one digitally to one of your clients, fantastic. It's our worldwide atlas. We have it available. And upcoming is our River one, as well as Crystal Endeavor for 22. And then I referenced Cruise Builder previously. It's our own proprietary online booking engine. I highly recommend you sign up for Cruise Builder. It is so efficient, but more important, the flexibility. You're in charge of your client's business, and you have it at your fingertips 24/7. So it's dynamic. We continue to enhance it because it's critical. And again, if you go to PRC, there are webinars there that I've done with in-depth Cruise Builder training to help you, our partners, navigate the platform, but more importantly, to learn how to adjust, make changes. And it's just really, really a lot of information that I highly, highly recommend you sign up for, not just PRC, but Cruise Builder. We always want to hear from you. So before I open it to questions, I want to also make sure that if we do not get to their question, Anna, I want you to know the sales support at crystalcruises.com, email and phone is manned by our inside sales business development specialist. But more importantly, I have a team, a sales leadership team that leads a group of strategic business development managers out in the field. Right now, they're out at home, virtual, like all of us are. I can't wait till they can be out in, face-to-face meetings, and we are returning to that slowly but surely. But if you don't know who your SBDM is, who is your crystal contact, please email us. We're happy to give you who they are and make sure that they are actually doing outreach. I've created this initiative because if we don't get to your specific question, I want you to know where you can email us or call us. But we created this initiative for new crystal guests because when we saw that sourcing specifically on Serenity and Symphony in the Bahamas and the Caribbean Luxury Escapes, it was blowing my mind. I'm like, this is fantastic. And as I've been doing outreach to those travel partners who some had never booked crystal, which was pretty exciting for me to see new to crystal partners as well. But when I started seeing all of these incredible new to crystal guests, I've asked, I would ask, what is it that enticed you to recommend crystal? And I get emails from our partners saying, you know what, when we saw these price points, I love crystal. I sailed it personally on a FAM many, many years ago when you had the Harmony. These are some of the examples of the responses. And when I introduced it to my premium clients, they jumped on the opportunity to experience, the award-winning crystal luxury. So please reach out to us. So Anna, questions. I am open for questions. I hope that was a wealth of information, but I'm sure there's always questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carmen. And we have our first one is from Diane, who is wondering if you are planning on making any Faroe Island stops.
Any what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What was?
Any Faroe Island stops?
Not to my knowledge, but do me a favor, Diane. Email it at sales support, and I will get it to deployment.
Okay, easy enough.
Because we're very flexible. That's what luxury is about. It's personal.
Perfect. Our next question is from Keith, who has some clients with accessibility issues, and he is wondering if there are rooms that are better suited for clients in wheelchairs and better suited for hospital bed accommodations.
So I would highly recommend, we do actually have a team on the Crystal team in reservations that will let you know which are wheelchair accessible staterooms on the ships so that we can actually accommodate it and help you through. I actually stayed in one. Ironically, it was a leftover room and nobody needed it because those are set aside, Keith, so that we have those rooms available, those suites available for clients with disability, and making sure that we are, making sure we're meeting their needs. So we can actually send you all the forms, all the information. And if you need to, email sales support as well, and I'll have one of our BDS folks put you in touch with the folks on that res team that do handle anything that has to do with accessibility, not just on board, but ashore as well.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Sharon, who is wondering if you can speak to solo rates and solo travel.
Certainly. So if you are familiar, Sharon, with Crystal, we always have, as a matter of fact, we just introduced first ever on the river on the Crystal Mozart, just no supplement whatsoever. We have 38 suites on the Mozart that will be just one cost only, single staterooms, period. That's what we're doing on the river. But on Ocean and on Expedition, as you saw, Expedition's 150%. On Ocean, we start at 125% solo rates, right? Very critical. We also have, and we continue to have, a huge number of solo travelers. So when we first launch, Sharon, we will not have the Crystal ambassadors. I know if you follow the Facebook page, everybody's so disappointed. It doesn't mean they're not coming back. They are coming back. And if you've never sold Crystal, Sharon, your solo guests love the ambassadors because they come and they will dance with our solo guests, whether they're ladies. And then we also have the entertainment team that'll dance with our solo guests that are gentlemen. We also do host. Our crew officers specifically will host dinner with solo travelers so that they can meet each other. And there was a question about that now because of social distancing, but because of these relaxed protocols and CDC's flexibility, we're seeing that evolve, and we have always had events that our officers will host for solo travelers. So that has always been the case at Crystal, and that will continue to be the case. If anything, I think we've just raised the bar with the Mozart by having 38 dedicated suites that have no supplements. So you pay the same rate everybody else does. So we're excited about that. And have had great response since we announced it and have opened for sale on Mozart. So hopefully that answers your question, Sharon.
Yes, great.
Good.
Our next question is from Mary, who on the other side of the spectrum is wondering if you can speak to group travel and your policies.
Fabulous. Thank you, Mary. And also, if you go to PRC, you can download PDFs about groups and our size, because literally right now on any of these voyages, if you sell 5 staterooms, right now it's open in FIT, right? Because when we opened for sale, social distancing, mask, all of these requirements were very stringent, but we had to open for sale. So the way we've set it up is if you have 5 suites, you can transfer it to the group and earn your tour conductor. So then you'll have it under a group ID. And then we will look at any onboard guest services requests that you might have. So when we initially started, we said, we're not entertaining our standard groups. I call it business as unusual, but now that relaxing of social protocols and masks, we will be able to then take on more of our groups, which we love, by the way. Affinity groups especially, it is the foundation of our success because it really base loads these vessels. And family groups now more than ever are fantastic. As you know, we're the only luxury brand that allows for children. And of course, because now we're requiring vaccinations, and in certain places, kids from 12 up can be vaccinated. So what we will not have when we start is babysitting services, and the children's programs won't be available when we start operating. But that happens to be phenomenal for multi-generational family travel. So I want to make sure that you're aware that we do have that on our ocean ships and continue to do that, and accommodations for third guests. So we're very flexible. We absolutely love group business. We have a CMI department, charters, meetings, and incentives. Why do I mention it? I'm not sure, Mary, if you have delved in this arena, but CMI is very big. We have a lot of incentive groups because we're a luxury brand and it's all inclusive. People love that as a reward in that particular channel. In addition to charter, these river ships at 106 guests or 120 odd now on Mozart, where we reduce the occupancy because of the solo suites, as well as on the Esprit or even on the Endeavor, with just 200 guests, that is charterable. Esprit is our #1 charter vessel, really, because 31 suites, 62 guests, family charters. We've had weddings on board, you name it. All of these ships. So we love groups at Crystal. And again, your SBDM can actually walk you through, help you setting up a group. For the current environment, if you do it in FIT, we'll just transfer it over, and then you can continue to add to your group space or group block. Hopefully that answered Mary's question.
Perfect, thank you. And we have one last question from Christina, who is wondering how agents can access the sales tools that you spoke about.
So the Partner Resource Center, and Anna, if you'll allow me, I can go back a couple just so that she sees the actual website. Okay, so we'd love to hear from you. Let me just show you, that's Cruise Builder. But I will take you back because I think PRC is critical. That's how you can access all of these flyers that I showed here, right? So Partner Research Center, I think it was the first sales tool. There it is. So I wanted you to see it. Again, Partner Resource Center, if you go to the sales support team, we can actually get you the link. You can click on it, be there, super easy, and you can download everything and anything. And again, I mentioned the Academy. You can get to the Crystal Academy through that as well.
Okay, wonderful. And those are all
Excellent.
of our questions. So thank
Fabulous.
you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Carmen, for all this wonderful information.
My absolute pleasure. Everybody have a fantastic selling day. And thank you for the opportunity, Anna.
Of course. Bye, everyone.